And we're going live. We're going live. Yes, we're going live. Although I don't see myself.
Sorry, I had a stowaway.
It's okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. If this is your very first time joining me, my name is Turea Simpson of TureaSimpson.com. I am so excited to be joining you this Saturday morning. It is here in the Central Time Zone, a little bit after 9 a.m. And it's very exciting to be here this morning and to bring to you a very special guest that I have with me today. I have Miss Andrea Thomas of the Andrea Thomas Collective. How are you this morning?
I am doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
I know, I have been doing some Facebook Lives collaborating with different entrepreneurs to gain more insight for my followers. And not only that, I love taking on the nuggets, honey. I will I will break out a pad and pen in a minute and write down the nuggets that I receive along the way because I'm a new entrepreneur. But I want to learn. I love learning and I love hearing from other people. So tell me, Miss Andrea, a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you have been doing.
Yes. Okay. So I am an architect turned entrepreneur about almost 10 years ago. And I started with a product for my daughter. She was born and shortly after was diagnosed with eczema, itchy skin, and she was scratching nonstop. And so I needed to gain a little bit of sanity along with buying some time to figure out what was causing the eczema to flare, the itchiness, and so on. And so I designed and invented a product called the Scratch Me Not and started selling it online. And it's really flip mitten sleeves for little ones that itch. And so and that scratch. And so I started selling that online and ended up taking that brand to six figures. And then after that, I realized there's other people, other moms, other people that are wanting to bring an idea to life and started doing consulting. And with my own experience, I realized Amazon is a great place to sell products. I did some great numbers there on Amazon. And so I started a full service Amazon agency where we sell your products for you. We get the products, the sales that you're looking for. And so that's kind of what I've been doing over the past 10 years. It started off with my own brand, and it has evolved into consulting and an agency. And so I'm actually in the middle of a business acquisition as well. So I guess I'm turning into a serial entrepreneur.
Oh, but that's a good thing now. That's a good thing.
Yes.
So tell me, did you start this business were you working a full-time job at the time that you invented the product for your daughter, or was it something that you just did on the side?
I had taken some time off with the labor and delivery of my little one, my first child. And so I knew that I wasn't ready to come back at 3 months. And so I was like, okay, I'll wait for 6 months. So I had planned on taking 6 months off and then going back to work. But within like 2 months, I just noticed that she was actively scratching and I wasn't sleeping. She wasn't sleeping. And so this idea came to mind. And when I talked to my husband and he kind of co-signed on my idea and saying, hey, let's do this. Let's take it out of just using it for our family and let's give it to other people as well. That's when I was like, okay, I don't have to go back. And that was like at the peak of my career. Like I was really taking off with with finding my lane within architecture. And so it was a hard decision to decide not to go back. But at the same time, there was this budding business that I knew I could grow. And so I was like, okay, this is like the fork in the road where you make a decision. Do you want to go back and have your little one in daycare and try to do things simultaneously, or do you want to just take the leap? And so we were at a place where I could take that leap, and so I decided not to go back.
Wow, that is amazing. First, within itself, that you were able to take 6 months off. Some of us wish we would have been able to take 6 months off.
Yes.
And the fact that you came up with an invention that could help others, because I'm a big proponent of helping people. So tell us a little bit about what it takes to really get started with online sales.
Ooh, okay, that's a loaded question.
Loaded. Well, break it down as much as you can without too much.
Well, so when I first started, I was starting with an idea. So I was like, how can I bring this product to life? And it took some prototypes to design. It took me figuring out where the factories were and so on. Flash forward to now, there are several ways that you can actually sell products online, whether it is you designing a product from scratch, whether it's drop shipping, which means that you find a company that you can sell their products and they'll ship on your behalf, print on demand, where you see all different companies with t-shirt companies coming out. Lately, a lot of people have been designing it and then having another company print those designs on t-shirts, on mugs, or whatever, and then they sell that. And then there is wholesaling, where you go to a boutique store, brick and mortar, and they have a variety of products. Well, they are considered a wholesaler, where they're buying products in bulk and selling them. And so there's different product selling models that you can jump into, and you got to pick which one works best for you. So if you want no inventory, meaning no product in your home or product to ship out, by yourself or through a third-party shipper, then you're going to want to do something like a drop shipping, a print on demand, something where all you're doing is focusing on marketing and your website and so on. You're not focused on how to move this product per se out of my house into someone's hands. And if you have a product then that you're wanting to, like private label, let's say you want to private label something and someone else is selling a product and you're like, I can just put my brand on top of that and I can sell that, then you can have that product shipped to you, you mark up the price, and then you resell it. And so when you figure out the product selling model, and I know I'm dropping a lot of information here, so if I'm moving too fast, let me know.
No, you're fine. I'm following.
Great. Okay. So when you figure out which product selling model works for you and your brand, once you do that and you source the product that you want to sell, we have to remember simultaneously, we have to be building an audience, because we don't want to do all this work where we're finding a product or making a product and so on, and then you don't have anyone to sell it to. So you're kind of doing, with entrepreneurship, you can't really do one thing. You have to do everything. So those two components help you not only find a product, but also sell the product.
Wow. Okay. So that's a lot to take in, but I am finding out more and more with being an entrepreneur how much you have to diversify. You got to network a lot to be able to get your name out there. But you got to be open, because if you're not open, then you won't learn the stuff that you need to learn in order to be able to navigate the different waters of entrepreneurship. It's a lot. So tell me a little bit about, I want to reach back. You were talking about how you were, you kind of did this for families and for moms especially. So tell me how it is being a mom and an entrepreneur.
It is probably just as chaotic, if not more, as being a mom and working outside the home. Like, there is still this level of, I am always accessible to my kids. So I have 5 kids now. When I first started, I had 1 child. And so you go through these different seasons where, you're trying to work during their nap time. You're trying to work when people are sleeping or when people are busy. And then it shifts to where there's no more nap times. And so now I have to figure out how to make sure they get what they need as well as I get what I need. And that's a balance that I don't know if that truly exists, but there is a thing of finding your rhythm. So I lean on, what is your true rhythm of your family right now? So right now I have children 10 and under, all the way to age 3. And so my world sounds very chaotic and loud. So right now you're getting a glimpse of controlled chaos because thankfully daddy's here and they are preoccupied with him. But normally it is a matter of me having a loose schedule, lots of activities or things for them to do, and then challenging them to know as well, like I have my work time. They're old enough to understand that now for the most part. And then you all have to figure out how to keep yourselves entertained as well, because sometimes being the stay-at-home mom and also the working mom, sometimes we feel like we have to always entertain our children when they have to be kids and use their imagination and be bored sometimes. And that is okay.
I'm still struggling with the homeschool stuff and being an entrepreneur. So,
Mhm.
when you're first starting out, it's a lot of groundwork that you have to cover. And, with being thrust into homeschooling that was not on my
Not
plate.
planned.
Yes,
Yes.
it was not my plate. I had my little routine down. I knew what time I was gonna decompress after getting them on the bus, and then it all went away.
Yes. Yes.
It all,
It went away for staying home moms, working home moms. It went away for everyone.
yeah, I know. So, you know, now I'm trying to navigate that and bring things back to normal as much as possible and understand that I've got to be able to work around it. So that's what I was talking about. You got to be open as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur because you never know when you're going to be hit with life stuff. Recently I just
Yeah.
had a death in my family, and
Hmm.
so I had to still navigate around that during the time of trying to be an entrepreneur. So I was out at a meeting yesterday, but then I had a phone call with an attorney, so I had to leave the meeting to go do the phone call because it was necessary for business, purposes.
Right.
So, being open is the moment I know that I'm truly an entrepreneur now is because of the fact that I have to be so open. Okay, so
Yes.
now getting back to you and the online sales world. So, give us some more nuggets that you think that you can give us right now about online sales and what it is that you do now from your Amazon
Yes.
stand.
Yes. So anytime that you're selling anything, whether it's services or products, I always like to talk about my trifecta. And this is something to where we always stay balanced in what we're doing day to day, because sometimes we can get caught up on doing busy work versus the actual profitable work. And so the trifecta is making sure that you are selling your products on your own piece of the internet. Usually that's your website where you get the most profit, you get the most control. And then also, since you are selling a physical product, we want to make sure that you're maximizing how you are able to sell that product. So we want to get that product in front of other people's audiences. And that is through bloggers, through influencers, through social media, getting that product into boutiques and so on. And then also the third part of the trifecta is making sure that you're selling your product on other people's platforms, such as an Amazon or Etsy or eBay or Walmart.com, because in order for you to sell your product quickly, And in order for you to change the most lives with your product, it can't sit on the shelves. Like that's just defeats the purpose. And so since we did all this work to source a product, to price it properly, etc., we want to make sure that we are putting these products in front of our customers' buying eyes. And so the Amazon, they have a built-in buying audience. Like they have trained us to go to Amazon to buy. Like rarely do we go to Amazon just to browse. We don't, type in something just to see what they have. We're going to Amazon with a purpose of price checking and purchasing. And so they have made it very easy with one-click purchase buy button, having the Prime free shipping, having easy returns. So these same elements we can apply to our own website as well, making sure that checkout process is easy for your customers to make them want to come back again. But then also Amazon shoppers are looking for random things to put into their cart at the same time. So they may be thinking, okay, I want some athletic socks, I need some baby powder, and I need to look for a bike. And so our websites may not have that level of variety. And so that particular customer goes to Amazon first. And so since that is the case, we want to make sure that our product is available on that platform. And then also understanding our customer. Like we have to understand who our customer is. So if your product is a handmade product, it takes you time and effort to build that product, to make that product and so on. Even though Amazon is available, Etsy may be a better fit for your type of customer. And so we want to make sure that we're putting our products on the right platforms. But then also you're not limited. So all in the beginning of this chat with you, we talked about the various ways you can sell products with your product selling model. And you can mix and match those. You don't have to choose just one. So you can drop ship and you can create your own product. But whatever the case may be, we just want to make sure that we're following that trifecta so that you can begin to get those sleep sales. When you're sleeping, those sales are flowing in and you're waking up with a smile on your face because PayPal is depositing money into your account. So that's the ultimate goal.
That's always a good thing, to make money while you're sleeping.
Yes.
That is marvelous.
Yes.
So for a person who wants to start off to do something like this as a side hustle, what would be your recommendation? How to start? How do you start?
Yes. How do you start? Well, one, you have to figure out what's your ultimate goal. Like, what's your ultimate goal? Is it to make some quick money? Is it to, you have this life-changing product that you want to bring to life? Like, what is your end goal? And how do you want to help your customers? And usually people start with their end goal being money. And money is going to be definitely a top priority. But then also besides that, like, how is your life functioning? Like you mentioned that, hey, I'm working, I'm doing homeschooling. Do I have the time and energy to pack and ship products and ship it out? And if that answer is no, then okay, that crosses out bringing a product out to life just yet, or another product selling model. I need to go straight to drop shipping or straight to print on demand, something of that nature. But then two, where there's a will, there's a way. So all of these product selling models, you can technically create a product, bring it to life, source it, get it made, and then ship it to a third party shipper, and they can ship on your behalf. So when you figure out what you're wanting to accomplish, what you're wanting to do, then step number two would be figure out, where do you want to sell that product? Do you want to have your own website? Do you want to go straight to Amazon? Do you want to do a hybrid of the two or the three or the whatever? And then after that, number three is the marketing. So we don't want to forget that. There's a lot of work when it comes into figuring out your product. But at the same time, who's going to buy your product and how will they know that your product exists? And so many times people are focused on Facebook ads, social media ads, Google, things of that nature. But then also there's influencers, there's social selling where you can get on Instagram, start using certain hashtags, get in front of, do more Instagram lives, Facebook lives, put it in your stories and begin attracting people that way. We always have to remember that we want to have new customers, existing customers, and repeat customers. And so once they purchase your product, step number 4 is how do you get them to buy more? How do you get them to come back? How do you get them to tell other people about your products, that you love them, that they exist? And so with those 4 components, you should have a constant cycle of people flowing to your products, purchasing your products, and then you upselling or reselling that product again and again. And then when you get to the point of where you want to, whether you're starting off with ads or you're going to wait for ads until after you get some organic sales, we want to retarget those people that dropped out of your funnel, which means they saw your product, they were interested, but they didn't purchase. So that's where Facebook ads come in, to retarget those people, to say, hey, remember me? You put something in your cart and you haven't finished. Or remember me? You looked, but you didn't buy. Let's give you a discount. Let's get you back here with free shipping, whatever the case may be. But when we have a true strategy in place, you know, when you wake up in the morning, what's your list of things to do. And it's not going to be making sure your logo is pretty and making sure you got the right colors. Those things have their place. But at the end of the day, am I getting my products into customers' hands? They're looking for it right now. Do they know that I exist?
So what is, how can someone work with you at this particular moment? They want to learn all about Amazon, selling. Tell us how they can work with you now.
Yes. Okay. So I have an upcoming product workshop happening next month. And so you can go to AndreaThomasCollective.com/product workshop. And if you want to work with me directly in a one-on-one situation, maybe even a group situation, then that is bit.ly/workwithandrea, and Andrea is all caps. So got 2 options, whether you want to dive in 100% or you're like, let me just test the waters.
So tell me a little bit more about the workshop that you're having next month.
Yes. Okay. So the workshop is really catered towards helping you get more sales. So you have a product in mind, you're actively selling the product, and you're like, hey, I want to make sure that I'm reaching or surpassing my goals. And it gives you various steps. It's a 2-day workshop, and we'll walk through the different steps. And then there's also a bonus portion where we talk about how to get sales on Amazon. So you're going to be covered as far as your brand as a whole, selling on your own and building your brand, getting visible and getting sold. But then also the component of Amazon, which is, hey, Amazon 2018 did $1 billion in sales on Black Friday weekend. And so in those 4 days, $1 billion worth of transactions went through Amazon. And so you may want a piece of that pie come this Black Friday.
Yes.
Yes. And even though, you know, the current state where unemployment is moving, I guess, increasing, and, you know, the election is coming and so on and so forth. The crazy thing about uncertain times is that people are still spending, they're just spending differently. Yes. And so I'm still seeing my clients increase sales. Like when COVID-19 first started, around May, one of my clients hit about $436,000 in sales that month. And so other clients were doing great sales as well. And so I'm thinking, okay, either people are using rent money to purchase products, or the effects of the economy hasn't hit them yet, or people have just decided that, you know, self-care is really going hard in 2020. And so people are saying, hey, I will go without X to provide self-care, to buy these products, whatever the case may be. And so we're still seeing solid sales on retail, and they're actually projecting that number will increase because brick and mortar is now shifting to online sales as well.
Yes. They're finally getting smart.
We've been telling them for a while, hey, online. But, you know, with products, people want to touch the product, they want to feel the product and so on. But I even tell all of my, brick and mortar people, like, hey, you always want to have an online presence because you have store hours, and when those store hours close, you want to make sure that you're having sales 24/7. So now they are diving in, they're taking that more seriously. And even diversifying, like, yes, I have a website, I have a brick and mortar store, a storefront, and I'm going to put my products on Walmart.com, on Amazon. And they're finally figuring out that the more streams of sales you have, the more solid and stable your business is. Does that mean you start off with all of them? Maybe not, but you add them on as you feel comfortable.
Right. Okay, so how can someone reach you if they wanted to follow you on social media? How can they reach you?
Yes. Okay. So on Instagram, I'm Andrea Thomas Collective. On Facebook, my Facebook group is called Get More Product Sales. And so I think it is facebook.com/group/get more product sales. Don't hold me to that. But between those two places, those are where I'm most active. And of course, they can always email me at info@andreathomascollective.com.
Well, that is great. I thank you so much for joining me on today. The information that you've given us is so helpful, especially if you aren't in any type of online sales, you need to get out there. People are buying, even though it is a time that they're being cautious. But just like you said, they are still spending money. So you
Mm-hmm.
want to get your products up and go and work with Andrea so that you can find out more. The more knowledge that you have, then the more you will be successful and put some coins in your pocket. So thank you
Yes.
again, Andrea, for being my special guest here on today. It is a special edition of my Tuesday Talks with Turea. Here with Andrea Thomas of Andrea Thomas Collective. Again, thank you so much, and I appreciate it. You guys have a
Thank
great
you.
Saturday. Bye.
Bye.